Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 33 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. I just logged in to find that my Discovery Void interface was successful. I left this guy running for quite a while and it did eventually get completed. So now I know how to create a Void interface. By the way, it's some Void ingots and an Eldritch mechanism and a portable hole and a Void ingot. Cool, neat. That's the thing that goes on top of the void chest and lets you link to other void chests, which is pretty awesome. There's still some more research I want to do, so I'm probably going to do a little bit of that off camera and then be back. Well, good thing I got my void interface there, because now I have a void chest. Awesome. I'm going to let that guy research up. Oh, see, that's not bad at all. Pretty cool. Ooh, now I got a void bracelet. Awesome. I think I know what that is, and I'm looking forward to it. Alright, the Void bracelet here, as you can see, allows you to travel to a random Void portal. To link to a different network, simply click on the Void portal seal. Awesome. So I need an Ender Pearl, an Iron Ingot, a seal, and an Air and Magic Essence. I might want to grab one of those. Maybe. Yeah, I want to try it out and see what it looks like. Alright, let's give this thing a try. So combine gold and redstone to get a seal, right? And I'm using my last Ender Pearl, so boo-hoo to that. But then I got my iron ingot, and I've got an air and magic essence from last time I played around with these things. Ooh, there it goes. Awesome. I just kind of want to see how this thing works, because I've never tried it before. The suspense is killing me. Now, I'm pretty sure I'll have to link it to my Earth network, because it's the only network I have, but it should... Yeah, see, it doesn't know of any other destinations, so let's do this. So if I just connect it to this guy, alright, new network. So if I right-click him now, oh, cool. I like that. And I'm creating all kinds of taint possibilities, but that's okay. I think that's pretty cool. Hey, it doesn't seem to take any durability damage, so that's extra neat. I like it. I might hang on to that guy and possibly do something different. But since I've gone ahead and used up all my ender pearls now, and I don't have any left, I'm going to go grab some glowstone, do a little hunting at night here. Do I have my athame thingy on me? Should probably have one around here somewhere. And I'll be back in a few minutes, guys. And then we'll start to build some stuff. Alright, a little hunting later, repairing my athame thingy. Hey, that was a quick repair. Awesome. I'm going to head downstairs and just see how my little crystal farm is doing now, especially since I've got this thing down here. It definitely looks like it's helping, because a lot more crystals have grown, which is awesome. Yep, that looks pretty good. Alright, today what I'd like to do, guys, at least to get started, is work on a mass fabricator. Not terribly complicated little device, but I do need 2 advanced machines and a Lapitron crystal, and a couple advanced circuits. So I'm going to collect most of the resources for this thing and get it put together, and then I'll be back in a few when I'm ready to show you guys. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright guys, just back for the finishing touches on this thing here, creating my Lapitron crystal. You can see I've also got the machine block required, and I'm going to need 2 of them, remember. So let's do that. One more I forgot. And those both get upgraded to an advanced machine. Definitely one of the more advanced items in the game here. And then some advanced circuits and some glowstone dust. Woot! Mass fabricator. Loving it. Next, I'm going to need some more of those fiber cables, right? I think I have 1. 1 should do. Yeah, why not? And I might need to do some logistics piping with this. We'll see. What do I have by way of logistics pipes? Some basics. That's cool. And let's grab some stone transports while I'm at it. So what I'm going to do down here, pretty simple little setup. Shouldn't be too complicated. You can see my generator is still running, producing tons of energy in my MFSU here. And the output face is here as usual. Now, most machines cannot accept high voltage current. The 512 energy units per tick that this guy is going to output here, see? Output 512. But the Mass Fabricator is one of the very few that can. And the Mass Fabricator produces a unit called Mass. And it's called UU Matter, and it's pretty neat. Let me just put this guy down, and as soon as I plonk him down, you'll see he's starting to drain energy. And I'm going to put a lever on him, which is going to be my on-off switch. Cool. Now there's no energy in there, or no more flowing in, of course. I should grab my EU reader as well, just to demonstrate this a little better for you guys. Where's my EU reader? There it is. Perfect. So, no energy at the moment. Turn it off. 512 going in. So when a redstone signal is applied to a mass fabricator, it prevents it from running. Easy enough. And if I dig underneath here, I'm going to want to create a supplier logistics pipe system to keep this thing supplied with matter, with scrap matter. So if I were to get a couple pieces of lappies, and remember I have a bunch of scrap stored in here from my recyclers, and I still have my recyclers laying around if I need any more scrap, but for now I hopefully have enough. Let's just get a supplier logistics pipe, and this should be a pretty simple build. And look, it's right underneath this guy, which is perfect. Now I'm pretty sure that this thing, we want to put items into the bottom of it. I'm pretty sure about that. I think if I place them in the top, well, I don't know, we'll find out. I forget if it's the top or bottom, we have to put it in there. Let's try it from the top. So, supplier pipe, cool. And I'll get my wrench and some scrap. And we'll say, hey, keep this guy supplied with one piece of scrap for now. It should pull it out of the chest, but maybe not if I don't have a provider pipe here. I do not. So let's get one of them. Hang on a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, a few seconds later, we've got ourselves a provider module. So now I should be able to hook up this module here and say, hey, provide for me, would you? And it doesn't matter what side you output to. There we go. Now it should go ahead and kick out a piece of scrap for me. You can see items flowing all over the place. I guess my buildcraft, or my quarry just got, dumped out. So how do we do here? Hey, scrap on top, right? That's where it belongs. Now let's see what happens when we turn on the power now. Nope, I believe scrap has to go on the bottom, so I was right about that. So let's just move this guy. What I can do is just run it back through here. This should work. And there we go. So again, I'll say keep, let's say, no, not that. Let's keep 64 in there at all times. That should be a nice number to put in. And that should pull a stack over. Hey, there it goes. Tons of scrap flowing all over the place. Awesome. Liking it already. We'll get this guy moved out of there. Now when we turn on our mass fabricator, it's going to improve the efficiency with this amplifier amount. Notice how much faster the mass fabricator is running with mass in it. If we take the mass out, it's going to be a lot slower. And it's still drawing the same amount of energy. So I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, we're going to need about 1 million energy units to create a piece of UU matter without scrap. But if we do have scrap, we should have, oh, I don't know. Let's get this out of there because I messed up the whole system real quick. With the scrap, I want to say it's like 100 or 200,000 energy units. It's actually 166,000 EU with scrap. So it reduces it by about 6 times. So that's pretty neat. So we'll let that scrap continuously flow in there. We're getting a nice amount of UU matter. Our MFSU, of course, is getting drained because over here we're producing about, 120? No, 80. 80 energy units per tick, and this guy is draining out 512 energy units per tick. So obviously, our geothermal generators here aren't quite capable of keeping up with the demands that the MFSU is sending out over to the Mass-Fab. But that's okay. We'll let this guy run for a little bit, and I'm starting to get my first pieces of UU matter, which is awesome, because UU matter is going to be really cool. I'm going to be able to create a quantum suit, which is definitely one of my favorite items in industrial craft. So I'll be back after a little bit once that guy's run for a while. I will probably shut him off relatively soon. And it looks like we've almost used about 7 stacks or so. We've drained most of our MFSU out of power. It's down to 500,000 left. And we've got about 16 UU matter. And if I recall correctly, I'm going to need like 50 something in order to build my first quantum piece of armor. So definitely going to need a lot more energy. I might even cook up another one of these geothermal sets, like another 4 of them, maybe. Might not be a bad idea. But for now, I'm going to move off and work on some other stuff. And oh, look, man, my lava cans are almost empty. Should head back to the nether at some point. Definitely. All right, let's cut the power to this guy. He's gotten enough. We'll let it finish up this cycle. 18 sounds like a good stopping point for this thing. There we go. And then our logistics pipe will keep that thing filled up. And lots of lava being produced and creating energy. Cool. And guys, just swinging by my beekeeping area to let you know I've been keeping up with my bees. Nothing too exciting or new yet, but I am collecting a bunch of resources from them because I'm pretty low on wax back at my main base. So I'm just going to bring that back and bring it, let it start doing its thing. I noticed some of my hummus and my, bog earth stuff weren't going, so I needed to refresh the supply of beeswax, something I should connect my two systems together for in the near future. Alright guys, the next thing I want to start working on is another EE item, equivalent exchange. I'm going to need 1 diamond for this. And you can also see in my inventory here, I've gotten a couple Eternalist fuel. Now, Eternalist fuel is the strongest fuel source, and it's worth about 4 Mobius fuel. And I'm going to need 8 of them in total. There you go, 8 Mobius fuel. And combine your Mobius fuel all around a single diamond, and you get a really awesome item from Equivalent Exchange. It's called the Klein Star Ein. Now, the Klein Star Ein is the lowest version of the Klein Star, and you can see we can use 4 of them to combine up to a Zwei, and a Dre, and a Beer, and a Sphere. And I know I pronounced most of these wrong. And then Omega is the highest tier. This is the lowest version. It can store energy, is basically what it means. So right now we've got this Mark II relay, and all the energy is going into the Mark II relay at the moment. A bunch of items probably just showed up from my Railcraft little transport system. We've got some energy stored in our collector here. You can see we finished making some Eternalist fuel. I took a few pieces of coal out of here. What I can do is just drop my Klein Star Ein in the bottom here, and it's going to drain all the energy out of the collector and store it in the Klein Star. How neat is that, huh? Pretty cool. And it's just going to sit there and charge. But if I take it out of there, all the energy from the collector is going to get stored in the relay Mark II. And as you can see, the Mark II relay has some energy building up in there, both from the collector next to it and all the items that are getting eaten up. And I'm going to let that guy store its energy, and for now I'm going to place the Klein Star Ein in here to let it charge up a little bit more. And if I really wanted to boost up the charge, I could even take a piece of Eternalist fuel and drop it right in there. Note that now it's got a big boost. Remember, Eternalist fuel is worth about the same amount as diamonds. So I just put about 8,000 EMC into my Klein Star there. And you can see it's starting to get charged. It doesn't hold much, the lowest version. I want to say it holds about 50,000 EMC. But higher tier versions hold more. The next one can hold 200,000. And the cool thing about the Klein Star Ein is you can use it in your transmutation table. So now I just did 2 things. Number 1, I taught my transmutation table about the Klein Star, so I can produce more of them straight out of here. And I can also pull items out of it in the EMC value range. So I've got about 12,000 EMC in the moment in my Klein Star. If I were to take a diamond out of this table, it would take 8,000 EMC out of my Klein Star. And if I were to burn the diamond up, it would put that 8,000 back. Pretty cool. And I'm just going to hold on to this guy for a little bit. There's some more stuff I'm going to do, but for now it's nice because the Klein Star will power any of my equivalent exchange stuff. So the destruction catalyst that I've got here, yeah, it's going to get powered by the Klein Star Ein, which is really cool. I'm probably going to want to do a few things. I've been storing up a lot of energy by way of Eternalist fuel. I might want to burn some more of that up, but we'll see. I do want to start working on some of the equivalent exchange power items, but I'm going to need a lot more resources before I can do that. But luckily, these awesome bits of equivalent exchange are going to help me out with that. Now, I did say I wasn't going to be using equivalent exchange much for getting random items like reeds and pork and food and all that stuff, but I will be using it to upgrade my equivalent exchange. So as I need dark matter and diamonds for equivalent exchange and stuff, I will be using the Klein Star Ein and the Eternalist fuel to produce diamonds and whatnot for this area. So don't think I'm not going to be using equivalent exchange at all this season. I definitely will be. I'm just trying to hold back on not creating awesome machines when I could be. So there you go. I'll be back in a few to work on something else. I believe I would like to start working on some more of those awesome seals that are available. All I need to do for Thaumcraft is get some redstone and some gold together, and that'll give me some seals. I'm probably going to need a little bit more redstone, so why don't I request it out of my little pipe here. Let's get about 20 of them. That should be good. And while that's cooking up, I'm going to need some more nitor as well. Was that these two combined? Yeah, there we go, nitor. Awesome. And then I'm going to need a few types of crystals. I'm going to get a few magic ones. I'm going to get a few earthen, some air, some water. I don't know exactly what I need. I'll figure it out as I go along. One thing I'd like to get is, I want to say let's do 2, 2, and I'm going to need a piece of gold here. Am I out of gold? I think I am. I'm going to get a few more pieces of gold. I'm going to need some golden nuggets. I'll grab 2, and then while that's coming, I'm going to check if I have any golden nuggets in here. I guess not. I guess I used them all. Alright, that's fine. I'll get some in a second. There we go. So, a golden nugget, remember, is how we get our magical essences, our runic essences. I wanted a couple magic ones for now. The reason for this is I'd like to try out something called the magic rune. And I'm not entirely sure where I want to put this guy, because I'm not entirely sure exactly what he does. I'm thinking if I place him right above here, like this, might be a good spot. 1, 2, 3 of them on there. 3 magics. Should be like a pretty serious boost to any thaumic devices nearby. So now that I've got that in there, there's a couple other runes I'd like to create as well. And yeah, look at my local aura thing. Dude, there's a lot of taint possibilities showing up here at the moment. So I'm going to get a lever here and turn this off. If I put a lever like, right up here like this maybe, that should turn off this thing, I believe. Am I right about that? Well, the local taint thing's going down, so I can only assume that I'm right. Alright, I just grabbed a couple pieces of iron here because I would like to show you guys a new device that I want to craft. I'm going to need another compass, and remember, if I put into my infuser here with a piece of gold and a Vs crystal, and if I turn this guy on now, is he going to start boosting or something? Yeah, this definitely looks like a bad thing. A lot, like a 50% chance of taint right now. So I got to figure out what this is all about. Anyway, got myself a Vs detector, which you guys have seen obviously a few times right now. But there's something really cool I want to craft with it. So in order to get that ready, I'm going to need a couple types of nitor here. I'm probably going to need a bit more of this stuff, so might as well, right? There we go. And this thing is disabled at the moment, right? I hope so. I don't like my chance for taint to be so high. But anyway, I'm going to need about 6 of these, because I want to get one of each crystal type. So let's put 6 of these in. And so far I've got these guys. I'm going to need a fire and a tainted as well. So there's some magic essence. Fire. Taint. Having fun. 1 earthen, please. Might as well move some of this stuff in here. Vaporous. And aqueous. Cool. And if I combine all these guys together with some gold, which I don't have any gold on me at the moment, so let's request some. Couple pieces of gold, please. And I really hope this thing is disabled at the moment. I thought I would be able to put something up there. You know what I could do? This will make me feel better. Let's put a lever up here like this. Yeah, see? That'll disable it for sure. I thought this thing would like boost stuff machine-wise. That's what I thought it did, but I guess I'll find out pretty soon. Bunch of comments I'm coming are sure. Let's see, I need a dark essence down here, and some essences all around this detector thingy. Magic one here, some water, and some fire, of course. Hey, I got my crystal ball. Nice. The crystal ball is a really neat ability within Thaumcraft that lets you check out all the different seal combinations. Right now, I just right-clicked on this seal combination, and it tells me this seal greatly boosts the speed of any thaumic devices operating nearby. It has no effect on the aura rating, I guess except to increase the amount of taint coming into the area, though. So that's good to know. Let's drop down here and see what's going on. Yeah, I definitely have my crystals growing. Neat. I wonder why the taint got so high as soon as I let that thing go on. And hopefully it's not out of range. I think it's close enough to these things for it to actually function. If I turn this thing back on... Oh yeah, look at that. The taint aura went way up again. Let's go see what our crystal ball has to say about this little guy. Ah, see, look, it's a portal. Nice. Now the interface on the left here lets you go ahead and manually choose which ones you have available. So you can see right now, I put down the 3 of these and I know what it does. It boosts the Thalmic devices nearby. And I could just have 1, and I don't know what that does, and I don't know what 2 does, but I'm sure I know that they just don't boost as great as the 3. I just know that because I've read up on it a little bit. And you can combine different sets of seals, and you can see which ones have effects. So right now it's saying that these guys don't have any effects, but air, air, and air do, and just 1 air by itself and 2 air by itself, and that kind of stuff. So green, green, yellow, right? Earth, earth, air. That does something, but we don't know what it is. So as we start playing around with the different seals, we'll figure that out. And I'm starting to think maybe I don't want to have my main Thaumcraft room so close to my main base. Like, it's good to have a little bit over here, but I'm thinking maybe I want to expand out a little bit. And, Creeper. What's up, dude? Sneaking up on me outside my house. That's right. Maybe I want to, like, move out further away from my main base, deeper into this forest here, because forests tend to have a pretty high Vis aura. So I'm thinking being deeper in this forest might be cool. So maybe clear out some of this area and create like a new Thalmic base for doing some more of the more advanced Thalm stuff that will probably create a lot of taint and whatnot. And oh, there's an Enderman. What's up, buddy? How are you? Oh, are you teleporting away from me or what? Just as I was about to get a better sword? Ah, those Endermen. So here's a good example of what I mean by deep in the forest. You can see the little volcano where my base is next to, right in the distance there. I'm not too far away from my base at the moment, but a serious amount of Vis right in this area. I'm thinking this might be a good place to set up camp and start working on some Thaumcraft stuff that's a little bit more advanced. Alright guys, the next item I want to make here to help me clear out that big old forest, because that thing's going to be a nuisance to clear by hand, is called a filler. This is a really cool item from Buildcraft, which allows you to kind of either flatten out an area or build a room, or there's a bunch of different functions that the filler can perform. I'm going to need 2 golden gears, 2 dandelion yellows, some ink sacs, and a landmark. You guys remember that a landmark here is just a redstone torch with a piece of lapis on top. And then I have my crafting table, my chest, my golden gears are requested out of my system there, and we should be good to go with our filler. Awesome. And then I also grabbed a piston. I'm going to grab a few pieces of bronze. Looks like I don't have quite enough here, so let's grab 16 of you. There we go. A little bit more bronze. And we'll get ourselves some bronze gears, because I want to get a forestry engine to use on this thing. So if I just do that, and one of these, there we go, a biogas engine. Awesome. Now, of course, with a biogas engine, I'm going to need a couple things. I'm going to need at least a little bit of lava and a little bit of, yeah, there we go. I got some empty cans here. Let's request an empty can or so, because I want to get a few of them. Probably at least 2 or 3. So where's my empty cans? We'll say 3 or 4 for now. That should be good. I'm going to go get some lava cans as well from the nether, because I'm out in my main base here, and I'll be back. Alright, just a few moments later, I get back from the nether. I've got myself a lava can on me, which should be more than enough to keep things going. Let's go over to our biomass production here. I've got my empty cans. Let's see, can I scoop right out of here? I cannot. That's okay. I can place them right inside my fermenter. Alright. Now, I did notice one thing that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. For whatever reason, the iron AND gates, for some reason, it looks like they're having trouble detecting when they actually have work to do. It works until I quit the world and then come back, so we'll let that turn on. Just, changing the has work conditional off and then back on seems to fix it. So now it should be activating and letting our engines run again. So just keep that in the back of your mind. It might be just a minor bug. And the fermenter here, if you place your empty cans on the top right, as it starts fermenting and creating all this awesome liquid, it should start filling them up. Is it down here that I have to place them? I don't know, we'll see. One of those spots. We'll let it start filling up its internal little capacitor bit, and then we'll be back in a few. There we go, the internal little capacitor is filling up with the biomass, and if I place them, is it the top or the bottom? I can never remember where they go. Hey, there we go, the top. Alright, and then the full biomass cans will land in the bottom. So now I can set up my biogas engine with my filler, and let's go check out how to use this thing. Alright, digging through this jungle again, and boy, this place is dense. I'm trying to find that 10,000 Vs area. It shouldn't be right around here, give or take. Hey, there it is. And I brought teleport tethers with me for a very important purpose, because I know that Vs measurements occur in a certain chunk area. So let's see, is it this side? No, it's this one. Alright, cool. So you can see I'm right on a Vs, on a chunk boundary here. So the Vs within this chunk right here is pretty high. And how about this one next to it? Not quite as high. So if I wanted to, I could probably want to build within this chunk area right here. This is the highest area right around. And if I go beyond this chunk boundary, this one's pretty high as well. So that's good to know. So a nice way to map out exactly where your chunks are is to use these chunk loading blocks. But this is the awesome area. There's something really good about this spot. So I'm going to place down some landmarks. And I'm going to get them and be right back. Alright, so like I said, this area seems to be pretty high in beast production. So let's dig down a little bit. I'm thinking like right here in the corner would be a nice spot to start up. Is this the corner of the chunk or is it this one? I'm thinking it's this one right here. So let's place down a landmark like so. And then head off in this direction, and I'm right on the chunk boundary line. So let's activate this guy. Remember, the redstone signal activating it is a good way to figure out where everything belongs. I'm going to get myself a pair of levers because I'm going to need another one to activate my engines in a moment. So right there is where I'll place my lever. Running off in this direction. Looks like here is where I'm going to want to place my next thing. So let's pick up my teleport tether for now. Where'd you go? You fall way down there? Alright, that looks cool. Sure, why not? Let's give it a try. Right there. Is that where the end of the boundary is? Pretty much. So I'm just going to keep this within one chunk. I don't know why I want to do that. It just feels like a good idea. And of course the neighboring chunks are pretty high in Vs, remember, because Vs will spread to neighboring chunks. So keep that in the back of your mind. So this spot right here is pretty much where we want to end. Cool. And I'm going to right-click this guy now that I've got my three things down. So we'll turn this off, right-click this thing, turn that off, and now we've got a nice mapped out area for where we're going to place down our filler, which is I'm going to put right here. Perfect. And remember, it knocks off all the bookmarks or the landmark things and places down that yellow electrical tape type stuff. Cool. So just collecting my landmarks. No sense letting one piece of lapis go to waste. And I can now turn off my F9 because I don't need to see the chunk boundaries anymore. And I'm going to place down the engine. But before I do that, let's see. I probably want to place my engine here. Yeah, that'll be good. And just one bit of lava and one of fuel for now. We'll see if I need another one. And I'll get ready with my lever, which I'll put right here. But in here is where I want to dictate to the filler what kind of filling we want to do. There's a bunch of different options, but let me show you the ones I'm going to use right now. Alright, so the interface for this guy is pretty cool. There's a bunch of different things you can place on the top slot that dictate what kind of filler this is going to be. So for example, if I place something like that, this is a flattener filler. And what it's going to do is it's going to flatten out the terrain all around where the electrical tape is and fill in whatever type of block I tell it. And anything above that will get destroyed. Heh. Nice. And there's a couple other ones. If I were to put bricks all around the outer edge here, there'd be walls. If I put glass all the way around the outer edge, it would be clearing, which would completely clear out the area. But I'm going with flattener because I want to build a nice flat ground to stand on. And what type of ground am I going to go with? I'm going to go with some marble bricks. I think that would look cool. Why not? Some fancy white marble bricks here for my area. So let's do this. Probably going to just place down that and turn on my engine. And remember, it takes a second or two to heat up using the lava source, and then the biomass will start getting used up and energy will start flowing into my filler. Cool. And hopefully, if everything's working properly, it should start clearing out the area Looks like it's placing... Alright, cool. I thought you would just create a flat ground, but that's neat. I didn't expect you to do quite that. Looks like it's going to rise it all the way up to the top here. That's alright. We'll let that run for a few minutes and see what happens. Not totally thrilled with the way it's running right now, but I don't think I've ever actually done the filler with the flattener area here like that. But I guess it makes sense. It's trying to flatten out the ground. Okay, that's cool. I've got plenty of marble, so if I have to go back and get a few more, I'm not going to be too worried. Did I run out of marble already? Ha! Yeah, I did. Alright, looks like I'm going to have to go get a few more. So I'm going to turn this guy off. Don't want to waste all the biomass that I've got. Might as well throw my other biomass can in there. I think I'm going to need a few more of those. Let's go get some more marble. Off in this direction. Where's my fancy blocks? Might need, like I said, a little bit more biomass, but I'm not too worried about it. So we'll get about 4 stacks of these guys. Should be enough, the fancy marble bricks. I like the way they look. Open this thing up, and remember, if you shift click, it's going to go into that top section there. So let's get our engine running again. That'll at least start placing down the marble bricks that I've got. And a biogas engine's pretty strong for the filler. Filler doesn't need that much energy to run, so we'll let this thing flatten out and see what it looks like when we come back. So like I said, because it's a flattener, it should flatten out the terrain with as much marble as possible. Neat. Oh, much better. And now maybe clearing out above it. And I might have to do a little bit of manual work here to fancy this up, but we'll see what happens. I'll be back in a few after he's run for a little bit. Yep, you can see the flattener doing its thing to the land here, clearing out huge chunks of the trees and everything above it. So this whole area should get cleared up, and then what I'm going to do is probably use my axe of the stream, which I should have in here somewhere. Am I missing my white bag? Where'd it go? I gotta go find my bag. I'll be right back. There we go. I tracked it down. I had left it in a chest somewhere. Hey, look, everything fell. Awesome. So the flattener did its job. It flattened out the area for me. It filled it in with a bunch of, yeah, look at that. All the marble and everything. Cool. I'm gonna now clean this area up. And it should start filling in automatically with anything that I want it to. Let's get out of here. Might need a little bit more fuel inside that engine. It probably ran out over the last few minutes, right? Or you know, the engine's still running, so I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to clean up this area, and then what happens is the filler thinks it's done because it didn't detect any more work to do, but I'm going to give it more work to do by cleaning up a lot of the junk in this area. So just tidying up for a few minutes, and then I'll be back. Alright, so cleared a lot of the wood and leaves and whatnot around here. So notice that the top of this block has little red lights on it. That means it's done working. If I just take a piece of glass out and put it back in, kind of resets the block, and it's like, oh, I'm green now, I have work to do. So flip this thing back on, and it should start replanting some stuff. Let's just make sure we have a nice cleared out area for it to work in. And you can hear it planting and just filling in the area like I said it would. So again, it's a little bit high, so I have a few minutes worth of time to spend here letting this fill, but not a big deal. Get out of there, you. And I'll be back in a few to check on its progress. Hey now, that doesn't look half bad. That's pretty much exactly what I expected to see when I finished this up. Awesome. So just a little bit of touch-up work to do here, not a big deal. And now I have to figure out if I want walls on this thing or not. Would that look cool? I don't know. Unfortunately, guys, it looks like we've hit that point where we need to wrap up the episode, so I'm sorry to say it's a good wrapping up point for this one. I've finished building out what's going to be a basic layout for my little Thaumcraft home away from home, but I do have more work to do on it, obviously. Just clearing out some of the terrain right near here to make sure we don't have this big goofy thing. I'm going to probably, between this episode and next, just put some walls on this little house. That's what I'm thinking. Might be a good idea. And then I haven't decided exactly how I want it to be laid out yet, but I'll have some kind of, Thaumcraft set up here where this big whole area is where I get a lot of Thaumcraft coolness going on. So this is Direwolf20 signing off on episode 33 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. Hope you guys are enjoying it, and I'll catch you next time where I'll, finish up this room and then something else. We'll see. Alright guys, take it easy.